is a meeting of the Athens Board of Zoning Appeals. The time is 7:10 p.m. and the date is June 9th, 2015. At this time, I will call the meeting to order. The board consists of 5 members and 2 alternates. The alternates taking full part in the discussions and becoming a voting member in the absence of a member or when a member abstains for conflict of interest. Present tonight are members Ms. Betty Hollow, Ms. Joan Kleinensky, and Ms. Lisa Carson. And alternates, we don't have either one of them, so we are at the moment short of 1 member for voting. I am John Golsey, the chair. Also present are zoning administrator, Mr. John Paskey, and secretary, Mr. Paul Eschenbacher. Since we only have 1 case tonight, and at the present moment we have 4 members, the appellant has the option of either tabling the meeting to the next month or agree that a 4-member board would be agreeable.
Understanding that if it's 2-2, you lose and you can't come back for a year.
I agree. That's fine.
Okay. At this time, I invite you to view a pre-recorded video on the rules and procedures of the board.
The Athens Board of Zoning Appeals operates according to the following procedure. The chair will name and describe the case. The zoning administrator or secretary will state the basis of the objection and any applicable facts or conditions pertaining to the case. The appellant or their representative will give reason why the appeal should be viewed favorably. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of the request will be heard. Anyone wishing to speak in general comment will be heard. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition will be heard. If necessary, the appellant or their representative will offer concluding, summary, or rebuttal remarks. Testimony from the floor shall be closed. The board will deliberate and render a decision. According to Athens City Code, Section 23.07.03b, the board has power to grant variances from the strict application of the code, provided the variance will not be contrary to the public interest, the spirit of the code is observed, public safety and welfare are secured, and substantial justice is done. According to Athens City Code, Section 23.07.10c, variances from the code shall not be granted unless the board makes specific findings of fact based directly on the particular evidence presented to it, that the standards and conditions imposed in this title, if applicable, have been met by the applicant. Exceptional circumstances. There are exceptional or extraordinary circumstances or conditions applying to the property in question or to the intended use of the property that do not apply generally to other properties or classes or uses in the same zone. Practical difficulty and undue hardship. Because of exceptional or extraordinary circumstances or conditions pertaining to a specific piece of property, a literal enforcement of these regulations will result in practical difficulty or undue hardship that is unnecessary to the achievement of public purposes. Preservation of equal property rights. Literal interpretation of these regulations would deprive the appellant of rights commonly enjoyed by others in the same zone and the same vicinity, while a granting of the requested variance will not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied to other properties in the same zone and the same vicinity. Minimum variance. The variance granted is the minimum variance required to make possible the reasonable use of the property. Absence of detriment. The authorizing of such variance will not be of substantial detriment to adjacent property and will not materially impair the purpose of the zoning code or the public interest. Not of a general nature. The condition or situation of the specific piece of property or the intended use of said property for which variance is sought, one or the other or in combination, is not of so general or recurrent a nature as to make reasonably practicable the formulation of a general regulation for such condition or situation. Any person, resident, or officer, department, or appointed body of the City of Athens, aggrieved by a decision of the Board, may petition the Athens County Court of Common Pleas concerning the illegality of the decision. Such petition must be filed within 30 days after the mailing of the decision of the board to the applicant. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. There is only one case tonight on our agenda, case number 15-10V, variance request for property at 16 Columbia Avenue. We have some echo in here. The board is required to take testimony under oath. Would anyone wishing to speak concerning any item on the agenda please stand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will present to the board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Please be seated. This is case number 15-V10V. Zone is R1. The property address is 16 Columbia Avenue. And Jamie Sullivan is the appellant. The appellant is requesting a variance from ACC 23-1001 Table B Office Street parking requirements to allow a single rental unit with 3 unrelated students and 1 parking space where 3 parking spaces are required. Mr. Paskey, any comments? No?
You pretty much said it. It's just a single-family residence that they're wishing to turn into a rental and only have capability of putting 1 parking space in off of Columbia because of the drop-off on the end of the driveway.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sullivan, you may come to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Thank you. My name is Barry Sullivan. Address is 14 Cherokee Court in Huntington, West Virginia. Jamie C. Sullivan owns the property. She's my daughter. She lives in Cleveland, Ohio. I want to apologize to you, John, for the confusion today. I'm in town on business, staying the night. My daughter was in Columbus today, planning on coming to the meeting tonight. So there was a disconnect there. So that was the confusion that we met with today. I want to just say my daughter bought this house several years ago when she was a student at the university, working for the university. She got her master's and then has since moved to Cleveland. When she bought the property, she did not go through a realtor. We bought it from an attorney in Logan. We were under the impression that the legality that the property could be rented, there's renters around her, and we felt that we were in compliance. So I just want to apologize for not being in compliance. That's our goal here today. This is a traditional income property area, that block of Columbia, and I totally understand the necessity for proper parking. But I wanted to bring up some information. I have pulled the rental housing list from the City of Athens, page 4 of 38, which lists all of the rental properties, the rental permits within that block. And her house number is 16, and I just wanted to read these. House number 10, 12, 14, 20, 21, 30, 34, and 38 all have rental permits without the proper parking, that these variances have been granted. 3 of the 8 have no parking whatsoever. So what we were asking here is not an exception. We're just asking for basically to have the same abilities, is to be granted the same variance as our neighbors so that we can be in compliance with the code. So in a nutshell, that's it. But
well, the cases that you mentioned, we look at each case individually.
Yes, sir.
On its own merits.
Yes.
So any questions for Mr. Sullivan?
Like I said, all we're asking is not an exception, but it's the same. Obviously, this is a situation for her that will help her as far as the house. We were under the impression that there weren't any rental permits in the area. We've done some research. Basically, the whole block has been granted these exceptions, and we're just asking for the same scenario.
So, quick question. How long did your daughter live in this house?
How long did she live in it?
Yes.
4 years, 5 years.
You say she was a student and an employee?
She graduated undergraduate here, bought the house when she was an employee of the university, got her master's, bought the house, was living in it while she was getting her master's, and then actually worked for the university a couple years after that. So 4 or 5 years she lived in the house.
And when was the last time that she lived there?
Probably been 2 years ago, maybe, something like that, when she moved to Cleveland. I'd have to check with her exactly, but yeah.
And so the house has been...
She's rented the house since then, thinking that she was compliant. Okay. We didn't.
Without a rental permit?
That is correct, yes. We did not realize that, quite candidly, you don't know what you don't know, and she didn't realize it.
Mr. Sullivan, you mentioned to me this afternoon that at the moment there is no renters and you didn't plan on having any renters.
Honestly, when I spoke with you this afternoon, I was under the impression that they couldn't rent the house because we had been told that you couldn't rent it. That's why the renters are out of there. Okay? We're fixing the house up. My daughter bought the house at the height of the housing market. Quite candidly, she's upside down on her house right now. So we're asking, we want to sell the house if we have to. Obviously, the best condition would be to get the best price out of it. So if the market is not the best right now, whatever ways that she can minimize her economic impact is the best for her, and that's what I'm petitioning for. But once again, I'm just asking for the same consideration that the people on both sides of us have, and we obviously did not realize the impact.
Any other questions?
I would be interested to know how many of the people who were renting there were grandfathered without parking?
I don't know the number off the top of my head.
Of the houses that he listed there, 7 of them are grandfathered. The only other one that has a variance is 12, Columbia,
Right.
which was granted last year for number of units and for parking.
But that was a peculiar situation.
That was an owner-occupied duplex changing to a regular duplex.
Right, so it was already established.
But they only
as
had
a
one
rental.
space where the change would have required 5.
Correct. And that person lives in Hillard, Ohio at this time.
All the other ones that he listed are grandfathered.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's helpful.
And we honestly thought that the house, when she bought the house, there was a renter downstairs. That was one of the reasons she bought it, because it helped her offset the cost of the mortgage.
So you do understand that the variances were not granted for the majority of these?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I do now. I didn't. I was just looking at what rentals have been listed. I was just doing some research today, but the one at 12 is 2 doors down from there.
Right.
So.
Anything else you would like to say?
No, I'm just whatever you decide is we understand and we're in compliance with that. And we once again I do apologize on behalf of my daughter. We felt that everything was on the up and up. When we found out it wasn't, we're making the proper choices. We're remodeling the property. We're doing everything we can to be good stewards, and we would just like that ability to be able to maximize her investment. All right.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you.
Mr. Paskey, even if this was for a single family occupancy, they still would have need 2 spaces, right?
If they were to rent it to a family, they would need 2. Correct.
Okay.
And if she doesn't rent it to a family?
If it's rented to tenants, students, or whatever, then you need 3.
No, but I meant if she lived there by herself, she would still need 2, wouldn't she?
No,
No,
because
It's an R1
it's an
district.
existing.
Correct.
Yeah.
May I ask a question?
Sure. Come to the podium, please.
Yeah. The house it's 110 years old, 3 stories. The basement has basically a bedroom, a little kitchenette. It's like a little efficiency apartment. And I've looked at the city code, and I'm not exactly sure how it all reads, but if the owner lived upstairs, are they able to rent the downstairs?
with a rental permit.
With a rental permit. With a rental permit, do you have to have the zoning variance for the parking? Okay, that was my question.
And by the way, how many bedrooms do you have in that house?
Counting the whole house, up and down, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths.
Okay.
Okay? All right?
But if you in fact had an apartment in the basement, have you not made a duplex?
What's that?
Have you not made a duplex if you have a separate unit in the basement?
Not if they're not using it as such. I mean, you can have a father-in-law suite in your house or a mother-in-law suite, or if it's inside your own residence, or servants' quarters.
You mean if I were living there and had someone in the bottom and it was functioning as a separate unit, that would be okay as long as it was owner-occupied?
It cannot be separated from the rest of the house in order for it to qualify as an owner-occupied rooming house. If you just want to rent out a room. There used to be a rule when I first started that no single rental unit or no house could have 2 kitchens.
Right.
Well, it makes sense to cut down on the number of units in a rental house, but also if you have a great big house out at University Estates and you have a second kitchen down in the rec room, technically that's not allowed, so they got rid of that.
Okay.
So what we count is if they have their own little kitchenette, okay, but it cannot be separated from the rest of the house.
If it is,
It has to be one big thing. I mean, they can have a door between, but it can't be permanently locked.
Okay.
It cannot be completely separate from the rest of the
Okay,
house.
so you can't
Separate
just
entrance.
have
Yeah.
the only access be an outside one and be separated
Yes.
otherwise.
just as a point of information, in her home, it all is together. It's not separated out.
Okay.
Okay, so it's all connected, common staircase. There is an outside entrance, but the downstairs and the upstairs are not separated by any fixed walls. It's all open and open access.
Okay.
Is the house currently on sale or
Not
for
yet.
sale?
No.
Okay.
We're actually going through it and doing all the necessary updates that we have to.
Okay.
And then we will, based upon what happens here.
Okay. Thank you.
Her plan, quite candidly, is to sell the property when she can get her money back out of it. But right now, it's the real estate market has been not as kind to some as others, so we're waiting until that happens.
I believe it was for sale.
It was at one time, yes, when she thought that, I'm sorry. It was for sale at one time, and that's been a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, when she first moved up to Columbus,
Okay, thank you.
or rather Cleveland, I'm sorry.
Excuse me, I'm just reading from her statement, and she said, I am committed to being a respectful and diligent landlord that maintains the property as well as screens carefully the students in their ability to maintain the property. So according to her, she wishes to be a landlord as opposed to selling it?
If, once again, the market economics are going to dictate everything, all right? If in a perfect world, quite candidly, if she could put the real estate on the market and get her money out of it, she would sell it and be done with it, quite candidly and honestly. We don't know that we can do that, and we're just asking for the variance to be in compliance so that she has as many options as possible. Okay. I think if the variance were granted, the house rented, if it were rented legally, cash flows and pays the house off, and it's a good investment for her. So speaking on her behalf, I would think that if this variance were granted, she could rent the house, pay her payments, pay her taxes, be a good neighbor. It's a good investment. In 18 more years, she has her house paid for. So I would think that would be her long-term plan if that were an option. If it's not an option, we'll sell the house as a single-family dwelling. Whatever your decision is tonight.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you, sir. Discussion is closed from the floor, and any discussions among us? Any comments?
So if a variance is not granted, she has to sell the house, right? Because she can't rent to.
That is
One
correct.
person.
She needs to sell it as a single family.
Either way, she would need parking if she wanted to
No,
rent
she
it.
doesn't need parking because its status right now is owner occupied.
Right.
So if it doesn't change, she only needs parking if the property only needs parking if its occupancy changes.
Right.
And she had it as an owner occupied, and if it's sold as an owner occupied,
Can't say anything? I'm done.
then no, you don't. There's no need for a variance whatsoever.
Right, but even if she were to rent to a family, she wouldn't have the parking.
Oh, absolutely, yes. No, renting is not,
Like a rent to one person.
no, you still need two.
You need still,
always
no
need
matter
two.
what kind of rental property it is, you need a minimum of two.
That's right.
Right.
So how big, in fact, is that driveway? How long? It looked kind of longish to me.
Brian and I got out and looked at it. It's barely, this meets the size for one vehicle.
There's a 20-foot roll-off dumpster in it right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
There was a car parked in the adjacent driveway, and obviously you couldn't get another car in there, so there's just room
not
for one
by
car.
side. I just thought, giving the dumpster there, that it looked kind
Oh,
of
larger.
Yeah, right. But,
But it would have to be two legally sized spaces.
yeah, okay.
And that would be renting to a family. If you were going to rent to 3 occupants, you would need 3 parking
Yeah.
places.
Or it could be a rental permit for 2 people.
Now, when I was there
But
today,
either way, they don't have 2 spots either.
when I was there today, I parked right there on the street. Is on-street parking allowed in that neighborhood?
Allowed, but you
It's
get
allowed in every
24
neighborhood.
24 hour rule.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Well, it is. I park there too, but when I
It's
go up
summertime.
there to visit people in September, there is no parking.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why the code was changed, because
Yeah.
they're trying to minimize
Yeah.
overcapacity on the street. So, yeah, summertime is a good time to visit your
Yeah.
friends in overcrowded rental neighborhoods.
Mr. Sullivan, I know this is not the order of the business here, but if you have a last final thing you wanted to say something, you may. Yes, please.
I appreciate everyone's time today, and whatever your decision is, obviously we'll comply with that willingly. But there has been a rental in that house for over 30 years. Okay, we know that. All right. And so we just want to do this legally. We were under the assumption that it was legal, and that's where we are right now. So whatever you decide, that's where we'll comply with.
Thank you. And for the benefit of the television audience, we don't have anyone else in here to speak on behalf or on opposition or general commentary.
I have one more question for you all. Assuming that the house was a rental for a very long time, then when Ms. Sullivan bought it as an owner-occupied thing, if it had been grandfathered, the grandfathering would have been lost?
No, if she would have kept the rental permit up to date, it would have been, she wouldn't be here today.
Okay, so it's the fact that she lost the rental
Transfer of
permit.
ownership doesn't lose your grandfather.
Okay, okay.
But you still continue
Well,
to
but
use
if
it
it
as
had
a
been
rental.
a rental, well, so she was living in it and renting.
Yes, illegally.
Yeah, okay, so
Okay.
it's the fact that she
No,
lost the
when
permit.
she lived in it as a rental, it was a rental. It was a registered rental. years
Oh, it
back.
was? Okay.
Yeah, so then when she bought it, she didn't renew the rental permit on it.
Okay.
So it lost its
I see.
grandfather.
I see.
Right.
And now she's wishing to have it back.
Okay, all right.
Well, we need a motion.
I move that we grant a variance to the property at 16 Columbia Avenue from ACC 231001 Table B, off-street parking requirements, to allow a single rental unit with 3 unrelated tenants and 1 parking space where 3 parking spaces are required.
Second.
Exceptional circumstances. Are there exceptional or extraordinary circumstances or conditions applying to the property in question or to the intended use of the property that do not apply generally to other properties or classes or uses in the same zone?
I don't think that case has been made.
Putting a parking space, the only place would be in the back, which is almost impossible.
Yeah.
So that's the only place, and it was very, very costly.
Right.
But it still is. It still could be used as an owner-occupied.
Yes.
And there are some. There's been 2 houses that have been purchased on Ring and Pine Street that were rentals and are now owner-occupied. In just at the bottom of the hill that we're talking about. So So that is occurring in that area.
Right. Okay. Since there
That
is
meaning
no
occurring,
Yeah.
switching from rentals
Yeah,
to
sure.
owner-occupied.
since there is no exceptional circumstances, so there would be no practical difficulty and undue hardship,
Well,
right?
it seems primarily economic hardship.
Yeah.
Yes, primarily economic.
Preservation of equal property rights. Literal interpretation of these regulations would deprive the appellant of rights commonly enjoyed by others in the same zone and the same vicinity, while granting of the requested variance will not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied to other properties in the same zone and the same vicinity.
Well, under the new code, no, they're because many of the other properties were grandfathered in due to the situation.
Grandfathered, yeah.
Right. So that cuts the line.
Is this the minimum variance required to make possible the reasonable use of the property?
Well, you could still use it as a owner-occupied, attempt
Could be.
to sell it as that,
That's that, yeah.
fixer-upper.
What need a variance?
Absence of detriment. The additional 2 spaces will have to be parked somewhere on the street probably, and that may cause some detriment to the neighbors.
Right. And the idea of the current code is to minimize overcrowded street parking.
Yeah, okay. Not of a general nature. The answer is no. Okay, are we ready to vote? If we could have a open shot of the members, all in favor of granting this variance, please raise your hand. All opposed? I'm sorry, you did not get the variance. With a 4-0.
I understand. May I ask a question?
Sure.
We didn't realize that.
Would you want to come to the podium, please?
I just want to clarify something. We didn't realize
That there was rental, and that's our own ignorance, obviously. But you say that it was grandfathered in. When she bought the property, if she had gone and gotten a rental permit, that would have been grandfathered in. Okay, so it's basically her own ignorance that has caused this situation. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I don't have my agenda, but there is 2 items. One was the approval of the last month's
Minutes.
minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. And then, Mr. Paskey, I guess we discussed our the workshop for the board members.
Yeah, so apparently 4 of you are wishing to go. I will forward that information to the mayor's office, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
It's Lisa, yes, no, John,
Yes.
Tony, Ed, and Ellen. Okay, you got that, Paul?
who,
John, Joan, Ed, and Ellen are wishing to go to the workshop.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move.
I second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Raise your hand. Thank you.
What if I didn't want